If you've been watching the channel, you know that a few weeks or a couple months ago, I put together an audio stand build that is all self-powered with a Vemma battery over USB. It powers my Mix Pre 3. I'm using it right here, right now. I was using this plate by GyroView, which is a fine DTAP V-mount plate. But I was also using this DTAP to USB converter. And so basically it plugs into DTAP and then spits out USB-C. And I was using that to power my Mix Pre 3. But what I noticed after the fact is this little converter puts out a really high frequency ringing sound. I can hear it and it's super annoying, and I'm always worried that I'm gonna pick that up in the audio, which is really, it defeats the purpose of the whole thing. Is I wanted a silent portable audio stand, and if the audio stand itself is making noise, it's kind of a big problem. So Bebob, again, a company that has been on my channel a couple times already, had a solution for that. Bebob makes these awesome micro V-mount batteries that are, miniaturized, super tiny little batteries compared to regular sized batteries. So they make both of these batteries. This is the micro one, this is their cinema line. After playing with their batteries and their other accessories, they had one more thing that was gonna save my life, is they have one of these plates, which is their micro V-mount battery plates, which accept regular batteries too. You can put regular sized batteries in them. They had one that also had a USB out port. So all of their batteries have a USB out port here. And it's a standard USB port that does, 5 volts and 1 amp. Now the Mix Pre 3 requires about 1.5 amps, so a little non-standard. It requires between 6 and 7 watts to record with phantom power and all its features. And the standard USB ports on any battery that I've ever handled, it won't power the Mix Pre 3, so it goes on to its backup power or its low power options. And so this plate that they have, which I'm using right now, it has an above standard USB out port, and it puts out 1.5 watts. It puts out like 1.5 amps or up to 7 or 8 watts. So using the USB out port on the V-mount plate that they make, the micro V-mount plate, I'm able to just plug in a V-mount battery. Any V-mount battery. I use the micro ones because I like them so much, but it also works with all my other V-mount batteries, and keep the USB port plugged into the Mix Pre 3. So the Mix Pre 3 plugs straight into the V-mount plate. So now my ideal audio situation is handled. I've got the Mix Pre 3 plugged directly into the V-mount micro plate with the USB out port, and I plug a V-mount battery into it, and then it powers my audio stand for days upon days at a time. And it is the ultimate audio stand. It's super silent. Bebob also sent a couple of other really interesting accessories. They have this power bar, the Bebob Power Bar 4T D2L2. So this power bar of theirs plugs directly into their batteries with the twist DTAP in either direction. See? So it can plug in like that, or you can twist it around and plug it in the other way. But it plugs into any of the batteries, and converts the 1 DTAP port into 4 DTAP ports and 2 LEMO taps. So ideally, you leave everything plugged into your power bar, and then when you need to charge your battery, just turn everything off, plug it into the next one. You're good to go. So that's a really useful accessory for getting more ports out of these batteries. So my only criticism here is if you take the power bar and you plug it into their micro V-mount plate, like so, or you flip it around or whatever, in any way. I've tried it in both directions, but if it's plugged in, you can't fit one of the V-mount batteries, even the micro V-mount batteries, into the plate appropriately. It's just slightly doesn't fit, just barely. They're not designed to work together. I guess if they had some kind of extension cable that pushed this power bar out a little bit, but I guess I talked to them and they said that the way the electronics are designed, everything is just too small for those to work together. So from my understanding, the power bar needs to plug directly into a battery. It can't plug into any of their micro V-mount ports. So ideally there will be a V2 version of the power bar that has So, you know, this port slid over to the side a little bit so it can fit into the V-mount plate and stay out of the way of plugging in something. Also, this battery is by far the largest and most powerful battery I've ever handled. It's got 293 watt hours and it has a 20 amp maximum load. It'll power any of your giant cameras or lights or pretty much anything that accepts a V-mount battery. These batteries can power. So thank you again, Bebob, for sending all these accessories out. You guys have saved my audio and saved me a lot of frustration. If you want to find any of the stuff that I talked about in this video, there's links to it in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will answer them in the comments. Talk to you in the next one.